Philadelphia City Commissioners are a three-member, bipartisan board of elected officials in charge of elections and voter registration for the city of Philadelphia. The City Commissioners were created by the Pennsylvania Assembly in 1711 with a focus on taxation and held various regulatory powers throughout the centuries. The Commissioners started maintaining voter lists in 1799 and took on more election-related responsibilities, but didn't emerge into its current form until the adoption of Philadelphia's Home Rule Charter in 1951. Good evening. I am Chairman Omar Sabir of the Philadelphia City Commissioners. We the people, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness were principles that founded this great nation. And at the core of it is open, free, and fair elections. I'm proud to stand beside our colleagues. Philadelphia, we showed the world how beautiful Philadelphia is. We had over 701 polling locations open that covered 1,700 precincts. We had 11 satellite locations that were open before Election Day. We had historic investment from City Council, our mayor, and we also had funds from the state. I would like to thank the Republicans, Independents, Democrats, everyone who stood up for democracy today. Just think about the sacrifices. Chris McSadix, Octavius Catto, Medgar Evers, Dr. King, the 4 little girls in Birmingham, Bloody Sunday. Think about it. Every block, every voice of Philadelphia was heard from today. We mailed out 240,000 mail ballots. As of today, we returned 189,000 ballots. We posted 115,000 mail results, and our next update will be by 11:55 p.m. at vote.phila.gov/results. I'd like to thank everyone again for a historic day. And I'm going to pass this over to our Vice Chair, Lisa Dilly.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you all so much for being here. You know, it is really unbelievable to see again the resilience of Philadelphia voters and how they are so determined to have their voice heard. And how fitting is that? In the city where our nation was built, to see democracy flourish today was beautiful. In every neighborhood, on every block around the city, we saw people engaging and voting and having their voice heard. We can't say enough about all the poll workers, our neighbors and our friends, our family members who worked the polls for us today for that in-person voting, 14 plus hours, many of them like working non-stop, no break today, because the lines were long and people were voting. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful day for democracy in Philadelphia. And as I always say, there's nothing quite like in-person elections in Philadelphia. They're just about as Philadelphian as Rocky and Tasty Cake. Thank you, Philadelphia. You did us proud. I will now turn the mic over to Commissioner Seth Bonstein.
Thank you. I'm City Commissioner Seth Bonstein. Just want to echo my colleagues in thanking all of Philadelphia for coming out and participating in this election, for law enforcement for keeping everyone safe, and all of our election workers and poll workers who are working hard to count the votes. We did our first mail ballot release right after the polls closed at 8 o'clock. We are continuing to receive in-person votes, and those are going to be updated periodically over the next few hours. The first batch of which has already been posted to our website. And then, as the chairman said, our next batch of mail ballot results will be posted before midnight. At that point, we will continue to count the ballots throughout the night because we are going to be here 24/7 until the job is done. Every Philadelphian who cast a vote today deserves to have that vote counted, They will be counted accurately, and we're going to continue doing so until the election is certified. Thank you.
Commissioner, can you say how turnout was, either by numbers or anecdotally?
So we can't say by numbers yet. As the results are coming in, we'll see what turnout looks like. But anecdotally, we heard that turnout in Philadelphia today.
How many mail-in ballots have you guys processed so far?
Our first release was at 115,000 mail ballots. Behind us in the building right now, they are continuing to process mail ballots as we speak. So that number will go up, and that next batch will be released before midnight.
Commissioner, on Truth Social, former President Trump has accused Philadelphia of having cheating going on. What's your response to that?
The allegations about massive cheating in Philadelphia are absolutely false. There's no evidence whatsoever of massive cheating. We worked closely with the RNC and everyone across Philadelphia anytime that they had a complaint about anything. We handled it in real time, and if anybody has evidence of widespread cheating, please send it in because we'd like to see it. And I guarantee you there won't be any.
There were a number of
Just
bomb
to be
threats
clear,
called in. There was a number of bomb threats called in some polling locations. How many, and how did it affect voting today?
So we're working closely with our law enforcement officers, and we'll publicize that as because again it's an ongoing investigation. We don't want to upset the investigation.
Can you say how it affected voting? Did you keep the polls open? How many locations? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, poll locations were extended, and we know that every Philadelphian that was eligible was able to vote.
Can you tell us what law enforcement agencies you're working with? The FBI, Philadelphia Police? Can you talk about?
Set them all. Philadelphia, all our law enforcement.
Commissioner, at some point you had all mentioned the importance of pre-canvassing here in Pennsylvania and the delays that it caused, but you had also talked about some of the new technology and the lessons learned. With how smoothly things have been going today, do you still feel this way, all three of you, about the pre-canvassing process in Pennsylvania?
Well, first answer to that is yes. I mean, we definitely would like to have as much time as we can to do pre-canvassing. But again, we have a great staff. We purchased new equipment, and there's going to be less mail-in ballots than what they were in 2020. So the process is going to be a lot faster. There's going to be less time with the poll book reconciliation process. We have electronic poll books. So again, it's going to be a lot faster. Again, that number that we had in 2020 was approximately 350,000 mail-in ballots. So as you can see right now, we're up to 189 returned. We possibly expect a little over 200 to be returned. And everything's going to be done faster.
When do you think that process will be completed?
We'll let you know. We're going to give our update.
Is it safe to say
Commissioner,
tomorrow?
is it safe to say that by the end of the night you'll have all of the mail-in ballots already done?
Well, we're still receiving mail-in ballots. So again, we have Eagles Green drop-box locations located all across the city of Philadelphia. So we have to collect those and we have to, do our process.
Commissioner, you said, I heard your colleague say that he thought the turnout was good. How good is good? Good compared to what? 2016, 2020? Could you say
So we'll have that number at midnight.
Commissioner,
It'll be right on our website at vote.phila.gov/results.
sorry, just in regards to the post on Truth Social, has that made you concerned for the safety of anyone in your staff or poll workers or anyone like that?
Sure. I mean, whenever anybody is saying misinformation or disinformation, of course, if that's the whole goal. Earlier I spoke about Octavius Catto. We talked about the 4 little girls. Misinformation, disinformation is nothing new. They're trying to intimidate people so that they won't want to vote. But we saw the resilience in Philadelphia, our fighting city, that people still came out to vote.
Commissioner, we've heard reports that there were hours-long lines at Temple University. Can you confirm whether there's a legal challenge that could possibly keep those polls open later tonight?
Well, I haven't heard of any legal challenge, but I can tell you this, that our vice chair, Lisa Dilly, went down there. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we did see a lot of activity at Temple, which isn't out of the ordinary in a presidential election. But because of the technology that we've deployed in the commissioner's office with the electronic poll book, we were able to get down there. We added some technology, we added some voting machines, we added some electronic poll books, and the short time I was there, we got through that line. So it did, it did close at a reasonable time. And resilient, yes, again, those young people down at Temple, they were determined. So we got through that line as fast as possible. But we are excited about, what we've learned since 2020, the technology we brought in, and just, our ability to get through problems like that.
Commissioner Dealy, you just talked about high voter turnout. Can you expound on that?
So the turnout seemed to be, a little higher when we were outside on the street. You could see there was a lot of activity, a lot more people. You can recall the last presidential election that we had some suppression due to COVID, right? So a lot of people weren't going out to vote. So it was good to see again. It was good to see people outside, reveling and talking to their neighbors and just being there and being part of the process.
Commissioner, could you talk a little bit, just some of the nitty-gritty of how the votes will be counted? Like, I'm just noticing that in-person ballots are now at about 20,000, and from before it was about 115 that were cast by mail. So how exactly is it working? Is it like you had a bunch of mail-in and now you're going to the in-person? Like, is there any description of how that?
So here's the basic process. We're basically counting up all the ballots that we received previously. And as the polls close, our hardworking poll workers, they turn the results in. And then we're just uploading them on a rolling basis. So what you see on the website, as the results come in, we'll post them up. You want to add something to that, Secretary?
Yes, thank you. I was just going to add, so when the polls close, the police officers go around and pick up the results in Philadelphia from the polling places. They bring them to regional transmission centers so we can update those results as quickly as possible on a rolling basis.
Vice Chair, you want to add something?
No, we're good. So just to be clear, so everybody understands, the mail that we put up are the mail ballots that we received up until like a couple days ago, right? So that's the mail we're counting now. That's the number of mail that you saw up. That's the result, and we're going to continue through the balance of that. And then what we're going to see come in tonight is the mail that it was in our drop boxes today, and the mail that the United States Postal Service delivers today. That also has to be counted. In between that, as the polls close and our poll workers are turning in their results, you'll start to see the in-person results start to come in. So that'll start to be more simultaneous as the in-person closed polls start to show up. So the first number was the mail that we got before today. That's the mail number. Now you're going to start to see the trickling in of the in-person vote, and then, as was stated by the chairman, we're going to post again around midnight, 11:55. That'll be the balance of the mail that we had, and then we still have to get through the mail that we're getting. So it's a process, and as you all know, especially those of you that were with us when we showed the tour, and we're building up, right? So it is a process, and that's what makes the difference with the pre-canvass, because we have to be able to build up to get to a number where we can start to count. So there's a lot that goes into that. You have 2 envelopes, you have to take the ballot out, you have to unfold it, you have to backbend it. It's a lot of work to get to that point. So that's where we're at. But we're really happy about our status right now, and we're happy you're all here.
And Commissioner, just to follow up to that, in what form do the in-person ballots come here as? It's a drive and a hard copy?
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Sorry.
Yes, so with our voting machines, the results are on a USB stick and the paper ballots. Every single vote that is cast in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has a paper ballot trail, and that's true in Philadelphia as well. So the paper ballot results and the USB sticks will all make their way back to this warehouse where they'll be stored.
Any reports of electioneering or any shenanigans at the polling places outside of the bomb threats?
Yeah, it was a smooth day. It was a beautiful day. We're not going to let misinformation, disinformation, a few people who are trying to, throw some rain on our beautiful picnic. It was a smooth day. It was a great day. And we'd like to thank poll workers and thank our bipartisan, nonpartisan staff.
Commissioner, what about provisional ballots? In 2020, there were tens of thousands that we had to wait for Friday for the count. What's the status this year?
So we will once again be counting provisional ballots starting on Friday after the official canvass begins at 9 a.m. So we will be organizing them and sorting the provisional ballots in the meantime, and then we'll begin that count starting on Friday.